Hi everybody, it's Susan with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. Here is a Stamp and Share project I'm going to demonstrate for you today. I'm using the half full stamp set from the Fall Occasions catalog. We're going to stamp this card here, which started out as a demo swap for me, and I've modified it a little bit. So let's go ahead and get started. So half full is a fun set with wine, so those of you who are really wine lovers or like to give wine as gifts, this is a great set to make thank you tags or cards. I love this one, wine improves with age, we improve with wine. That's pretty true these days. So let's just go ahead and get started on making this card. So I used Fresh Fig, which is an ink color, as my card base. I'm using a piece of Designer Series paper from the All Year of Cheers specialty DSP from the fall catalog, and this paper is great. It's got metallic embossed images. This one's got copper and champagne on it, so that's really fun. I thought that was a neat background to use. We're using vellum. Okay, vellum is what we're going to stamp our images on and then color. And then we're going to use the metallic washi tape, which is also from that same bundle, the Cheers to the Year. This is great metallic tape. Now, I'm not a love with washi. I use it very rarely on my projects, but I really liked these metallic options, and it was a fun way to attach the vellum without having to put too much adhesive down, because you know you can see adhesive through the vellum. So that was a nice option to use that for. So let's just go ahead and do some stamping. So I'm going to move all this to the side for now. We're just going to use the vellum. I'm actually going to bring in two pieces. So when I originally made the card, I used Fresh Fig ink to stamp my images down, and then I used Fresh Fig marker to color in on the vellum. And I actually color on the back side of the vellum so that when you put it on my card, I didn't have to wait for so long for it to dry. I would just put it down. So I'm going to go ahead and do that first. So I'm stamping the wine bottle. I'm going to put this on my grid sheet, lining up with a grid just to help me make these things upright when I put on my card. Alright, so there's my wine bottle. And then I did two wine glasses. So if you're going to have wine, you might as well share it with another, right? So I'm going to stamp one here and another one right next to it. Okay, just made it on there, so good. Then at the top I stamped the best wines are the ones we drink with friends. So I'm going to repeat that on here. Okay, so all my stamping is done. So now I would let this dry for a minute, but I'm going to show you how I color on the back of it. So I just flip it over onto my scrap mat. Okay, I'm going to try not to move it around. Then I'm going to get out my marker, my Fresh Fig marker. So I kept it very monochrome. I've got the metallics in there, but as far as color, I used Fresh Fig for my base and Fresh Fig for my inks. And so what I do is on the back side of the vellum, I just marker inside the lines. So I wanted my wine bottle to have some shading, but I'm not going to color in behind where the wine bottle tag would be. I'm just going to let that be the vellum and let the metallic of the Designer Series paper show through on that. Get those tips a little bit. And then I'm going to do the bottom. Sometimes when I use my markers, I do the edges first, just so that I'm not going to color outside my lines. And I tend to use my paintbrush tip end of my marker instead of the fine point tip, but I know some of you are more comfortable with the fine point tip, so it just takes you a little longer to do it. Okay, so there's my wine bottle, and then I'm going to put wine in the glasses. just going to go back and forth here with my paintbrush tip, kind of wash the color in there. There's more of the tip there at the bottom, and then I've got another one. So this set has some fun sayings in it. The ones I use, the best wines are the ones we drink with friends. May your glass always be half full. That's kind of encouraging, right? Or if you're sending a card for good greetings, that would be a good one. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, but if the white runs out, I'll drink red. That one's kind of cute. And then there's also a Merry Christmas stamp and a little holly that you can use to make it more Christmassy. I did do one for that. It's posted on the website. All right, so see, I've stamped on the front and I colored on the back. So there's that. So that one's done. Now I'm going to try something different. Since our blends have just been announced this month, I'm going to repeat this card, but this time I'm going to use the blend markers, which means I need to use Memento ink to stamp. So let me put that down. Memento. I like that Memento dries quickly. You have to use it with the alcohol markers, but it's also nice and crisp, which is really nice for imaging when you have fine drawings. Okay, so there's my wine glass and my two glasses. Now, I said you have to use Memento when you use blends. That's true if you want to use the blends right up next to the marker. Now, for you to do the same technique, I can color on the back side with my blends, which I'm going to do because I stamped on vellum, so vellum takes a little longer to dry than our cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same technique and color on the back side, but I want to see if you notice the difference. So this time I'm going to use Pink Pirouette. So instead of a dark wine color, I'm going to use a blush color. Now with the blends, when I color, I can go right over where I colored before, and it's not going to leave any marks from where my lines overlap. Whereas when I was doing the wine bottle, see how it got darker in some places and had some wine lines over, especially like right there on the wine glass? And you could see my marks going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Well, with the blends, you don't see any of those back and forth, back and forth, back and forth lines. Even if I like dab it in here, or just kind of go crazy and color, 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 and then slow down toward my edges. Blends are very forgiving in that way. So, and then I can come in and I can do the amounts in the cups. And then I'm going to put this top back on. Now this is when I put the top on. See that snap? That's to make sure that it's on nice and tight and so that they don't dry out. Remember, they are alcohol-based markers, so if you leave them exposed to the air, they could dry out on you, and we don't want that to happen. So this time I'm going to color in the wine glass stem with a different blend. And yeah, I'm using the fatter tip, but it's got such a nice tip on the end of it that, at least when they're new, you can get right in there. So let's see how that looks from the front side. Let's flip that over. Okay, I'm okay with that. Now, let's see. I don't have it on my desk. See, if I don't know if you can see, but I'm outside my line a little bit here. There's a color lifter pen that will take that right off. So give me 1 second. I'm going to get that color lifter pen. So you never intend to have the unexpected happen, and that's when it happens. So actually that's not even the right pen. Let's see. Let me get my big bucket here of my blends. Here it is. So the color lifter pen will take off some ink. So it's just white, clear. Think of it like, I don't think it's bleach, but think of it like a bleaching pen. So I'm just going to lift that ink off the vellum. Right there, clean up my edge a little bit. That worked pretty well. Now I may have gotten lucky with the vellum too because the vellum stays wet a little bit longer, but it came right off. So now when I flip that over, you're not going to see that smudge at all. Alright, so now I've got a piece of Designer Series paper, and I've got my 2 stamped images. So I'm just going to go ahead and place this on the center. See how that Designer Series paper shows through the vellum? I think that's kind of neat. And I'm going to get my washi tape. I think this time I'm going to just use the copper. So washi tape comes on a roll. It's kind of like painter's tape, so you just need to rip off a section. Edges can be rough. And then if you've got, there's dogs. Then if you've got your stuff in place, you can just use this to place it, just like that. Okay, and then if you wanted to, you could add glue dots to the back side, but I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it just like that. So let's go ahead and do the other one as well. So this is the one I did with the marker. I'm going to get some washi tape again. So really kind of a neat way to adhere stuff that otherwise gives us trouble. Put that on the bottom. Okay, and then I have got my fresh fig and my snail. So I'm just going to flip this over, add some adhesive. I'm going to stand up. I do better at centering things when I'm looking over the top. Put that on. Because I have a dark card, I have a piece of Whisper White for lining it. So that goes right there. Okay, so there's that one. And then the other one, do the same thing. Got your front piece. So we'll adhere that down. I think that's kind of cool with the lighter color. More of that paper shows through. And then we've got our inside. And voila, we're done. So there you have it, gals. So these are Stampin' Shares, which means that I currently have the product in my workroom, and I'm happy to share it with you. So if you want to buy a kit to make these cards or to make other cards, you can always change out the stamp sets. Use something you have if you want to use this fun paper and these fun colors. So what you'll get in the kit is an envelope. You'll get the card base in fresh fig. You'll get the liner piece. You'll get a piece of Designer Series paper, a piece of vellum. Actually, I'll probably put in 2 pieces of vellum just in case. And I'll give you some washi strips so that you can make cards in your own way, because it is your card and you should make it your way. So if you have this fun set, you can make them similar to mine or just like mine, or if you have other sets that you say, hey, I really want to use this other image on that card, you can go right ahead. So you can get these from me on my Demonstrator site. So just contact me and we'll get you all set up. Thanks, ladies, and I look forward to stamping with you in person soon. And I hope you're enjoying the kits I'm sharing with you here. All right, ladies, happy stamping!